Welcome back to the Stoop football fans. It's your boy Lolo, and I am back in the basement for our final happy hour of the season. Um, the actual football season. We'll be back next week, of course, but this is the last one of the season, so it's now or never. We have Championship Sunday coming up. All the matches playing all at the same time. If you're in Brooklyn, stop by the Stoop. I will be outside. We'll be making pancakes and breakfast and other things and having a lot of fun. So we'll try and even get Director John out of the house. We'll see about that. But for now, it's Friday night. Crack them if you got them.
What do you mean? What do you mean get him out of the house? I always go up to your Stoop. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Cheers. Big ears.
That is true. That is true. You have been coming out. So yeah, let's get to it. It is Championship Sunday coming up, and championship is not a good word this week because all that we have left to play for, we do have our first place, second place, third place, and fourth place. I think third and fourth might be able to flip-flop. I'm not sure. I'm sure Tony will let us know about that when he gets on to talk Newcastle, but it is confirmed Manchester City have won the league. Arsenal have bottled the league, finished second place with, I don't know, 160 million pounds of a bonus cash for finishing second. Not too shabby. Maybe we can spend it on some people. Newcastle have locked their Champions League spot. Huge news for Newcastle fans and Newcastle in general. Once again, Tony will be able to talk about that a lot more. And then Manchester United have also locked in their Champions League spot. Liverpool just missed out. I thought they'd be able to pull through, but alas, they have not. And then Brighton has also clinched Europa League with their draw against Manchester City, another team that must be just infuriating all of our Leeds United fans because they destroyed Arsenal. They play a hell of a game against Newcastle. They play a hell of a game against Manchester City, but they lose 5-1 or something like that to Everton. If they had just stayed, I don't know. Why couldn't they lose to Everton or beat Everton and then lose to Arsenal? It's not fair. It's just not fair. But Leeds United is sitting there right in a terrible spot at the bottom of the table, at the bottom of the not officially relegated table yet. However, there is still some hope. There's some hope for Leicester City, Everton, and Leeds United. Those are the three teams, two of which will go down, unfortunately. But Leeds United, you guys got to win your game. You guys got to win your match against Tottenham. It's doable. And then you gotta hope that Leicester and Everton don't win. So, and that should probably be enough to get you out of there. But we will see. But let's get to some of the people in the chat. Good to see everybody today. Do you believe in miracles? Exactly. Exactly. There you go, Anders. What a great comment. And John was on it with the graphics. Jimmy Bremer's Ghost, Ping Cushion. Good to see you guys as always. Scooby D2 as well. Rhiannon in the house. She's back here. I'm gonna get on her a little bit about Leeds United not doing so well when Rhiannon's not on the Stoop. So maybe she's coming in to give us to give Leeds United that boost that they need by joining up on the Stoop today. Who else do we have? Ben, Arizona Leeds. Lots of Leeds fans here today. Gary as well, some Arsenal support. Bandy, very good to see you. I'll be seeing you in September, my friend, when I am back out in London. Mo Masters here after I think he took a week off, as did Real Madrid when they played Manchester City. Eee. John Lufgarside says, "Hi guys, I watch every week and only just found out I can chat, for fuck's sake. LOL." Indeed, John, very good to have you on here. Let's hear what you have to say. Mark McKenzie. What?
That's hysterical. He watches every week, but now he only figured it out. Is that Lawler?
No. He's Lufk, so he's a Leeds fan. Mark says, "Dear Arsenal, let Wolves win on Sunday so they can finish above Chelsea, which will make the whole football world happy." Hey, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I don't care. Yes, I would like to finish strong at home. But you're right. Chelsea's downfall has been the only thing that's been keeping me sane. Chelsea and Tottenham being absolute garbage to watch has been the only thing keeping me sane as I watch my team just completely capitulate. But that being said, I don't have much more for a monologue today. So I'm going to let some other people talk, and I'm going to bring my lovely co-host, Mr. Mark, in all the way from Spain. It's Mark, everybody, wearing his Wolves kit.
Maybe not.
On. It is not Mark. It is David via
Oh,
Mark.
wrong side.
Very good to see you, David.
Yeah, how you doing?
Man.
Obviously, your tears aren't as great as the Leeds supporters. You know, it is what it is. We've totally capitulated over the last month. We actually have ended up a point less than what we were during the game against Palace at one point.
Oh man.
I think the general feeling is, having looked on social media and things like that, is that most Leeds fans are resigned to relegation, and a lot of them sort of think we've been that terrible that we deserve it. So it is what it is, quite frankly.
Well,
We'll regroup and we'll go again.
Yeah, I've heard that, David. I've heard a lot of that word right there, deserve it. We don't deserve to be in the Premier League. We deserve to go down. But let me ask you, does Everton deserve to stay in the Premier League with their performances this season? Does Leicester City deserve to be in the Premier League this season? I hate to tell you, but all three of those teams deserve to go down.
All poor teams. In fact, yeah, include Southampton in that.
Yeah.
All poor teams, on their day, they can play football and play quite attractive football. But generally, they're four very bad teams. And I would also put West Ham in that category. They've been very poor this season. Probably the surprise out of the poor teams, because you would expect them to be at least above mid-table with the sort of squad they've got, and they have been shocking. But that said, what I would say is, in the last month or 2 months, Leeds, they've just tailed off, and it just seems a lack of stomach for the fight. A little bit of luck maybe not going our way, but then again, you make your own luck. And that's where I would personally say the likes of Forest, who I think are probably I think they're the worst team in the division, but they get an opportunity and they score, and then they've defended resolutely. So, you know, hats off to them. It's not pretty football; it's very ugly football, but it's had its effect. The same with Everton, and latterly the same with Leicester. They've had the change of managers. Of course, they changed their managers a little bit earlier than we did, and I think it's had the desired effect. And they've managed to get a few points together, those two teams. As I say, Leeds were in 12th place when we played Palace, and where we are now, that tells the story. You know, we have been very, very poor.
Well, talking about Nottingham Forest, the amount of matches that Nottingham Forest has won 1-0 or drawn 1-1 goes to tell you that that's what you got to do. You can't give up goals. You can't give up. Even last week when you guys went up 1-0 against West Ham, it seemed like Leeds United players out there were like, we did it. And even Big Sam was like laughing on the sideline, and like he starts messing around on the sideline. And I was like, this is very early. No. And as opposed to Nottingham Forest, they either play solid defense for 80 minutes and then score a late one to make something happen, or even against City, as they did with a very, very late goal to draw, those are the points that keep them out of this little battle in the end. And that's something Leeds United have not been able to do.
It's their quality up front that when they've only had literally 2-3 chances in the game, but they'll get 1 or 2 goals. They'll convert those chances. Leeds, we should have been out of sight against West Ham after 20 minutes. We should have at least been 3 up. Even Moyes has said to Sam Allardyce after the game that, you boys should have been out of sight after 20 minutes. But we didn't take our chances. And the sad thing is that in the last 5 weeks, I haven't celebrated a goal when we've scored. It's not been a celebration because it's almost like, yeah, okay, we've scored, but now it's going to revert to type, and we're just going to sort of sit back and we will concede because we're very poor at defending. I have to say, I did cheer a little bit at Rodrigo's goal the other day against West Ham because it was a cracker. Yeah, it was a cracker. Yeah. So it was a bit like, wow. But as soon as they got back to the centre spot to kick off again, it was like, okay, how long are we going to last?
Yeah. Well, I just got notified that we got a special guest popping on who I don't think has much time to give us, but as we're talking Leeds United West Ham, he's our West Ham fan. So let's get him on here. Italy Jet clearly from the beach house.
Yeah, I am in Panama City Beach. I'll give you guys a good look. I'm on the beach right now.
All right. So, like West Ham on the beach. There you go. You guys were pretty much on the beach last week, and then Leeds United were just like, no, come on, guys, you can score 2. You guys can score 2. And you guys were like, all right, fine, if you want us to.
Right. I think that was the West Ham way, wasn't it? West Ham were, there's stories going around that after their superb Europa, game win, is that they were on the piss on the Thursday night, and to be honest, in that first 20 minutes, Leeds were all over you. But then suddenly the West Ham players, after about 30-35 minutes, they were like, actually, we can win this. This lot, they're running out of gas already. Hats off to you.
Yeah, it's always really interesting with us. Like I've been saying this entire year, West Ham players, they come in spurts. They're either going to play really well in the beginning or not, or they're going to come in at the end and do something or not. It's always inconsistent. But hey, we got to the final. Looks like we're going to stay up. Now I just want Leeds to stay up. So I hope we win on Sunday so you guys can stay up and bring Leicester and the rest of them down. That's what I want.
Thank you so much, John. We're so glad you figured out how to comment because it also let you figure out how to give us $2. So we'll take it, man. Thank you very much for your support. That'll buy this beer for sure. So there you go. All right. Well, I don't know how much time you have with us today, Italy Jet, but what are your thoughts on relegation? Who do you think actually gets relegated this weekend?
I think Leicester City will. Leicester City.
Do we have those matches, John? Do we have the matches?
Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you guys have to beat Leicester. You guys have to beat Leicester to help Leeds out.
Exactly. And Bournemouth have to beat Everton. So it depends on what Spurs team shows up, right? They're always so inconsistent. You don't know if they're gonna just kick your ass or if they're just not show up. You don't see them. So I hope you get a Spurs team that doesn't show up. I hope we win against Leicester because I'm not really worried about them. But I think the Bournemouth and Everton game, everyone's going to pay a really close attention to that game. Personally, I think that's what's going to be interesting because if they lose, just like me and Lolo were talking earlier today, I asked him what needed to happen. And I was like, okay, Leicester need to lose. Everton needs to lose. But then, Lolo, you were telling me that there's a couple other scenarios, right? What are those?
So I believe if Everton and Leicester both draw and Leeds United win. So basically, Leeds United have to win. They absolutely have to win.
Yeah.
But if Everton and Leicester only draw, I think goal differential would be in Leeds United's favor, and they would go over.
No. If Everton
well,
if Everton and
Everton
Leicester draw, then
Leeds would need to win by 3 or 4.
We'd need to win by an
Three
awful lot
or
more
four
because
goals, or just they get the 3 points, right?
Leicester have got the best goal
Goals.
difference.
Okay, goals. Okay.
Yeah, but if Leicester only draw and you win, you're over them. You're fine. Leicester need to win. Leicester need to win, or they need Leeds United and Everton. No, Leicester need to win. If Leicester draw, they're not safe.
No.
If Leeds draw, you're not safe. You both need to win.
We both need to win.
Yeah, and Everton needs to lose.
Leeds basically need they need to win. Everton need to lose. Leicester, they can draw, and we would go above them.
Yeah.
But if we end up on the same points, if all 3 teams end up on the same points, unless we score an absolute hatful, we'll get relegated.
What about the goal differential?
You only need 3 or 4 for you. You need 4 for your goal differential.
We're minus 27, and
they're
Leicester are only
24.
Leicester are minus 18.
You don't worry about Leicester. You don't worry about Leicester. It's Everton's goal differential that you could tie with.
Yeah,
if they get 1 point and you get 3 points, you need.
Oh yeah.
It'll be very, very close because clearly you would have won, so you would knock off some of those. You would change your goal differential a little bit, but you need to win by 3, and then hope you have
at least
yellow cards or wherever they go next after goal differential.
That's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen.
Hey, it's football. I didn't think I didn't think Southampton could put 2 goals on Arsenal. Period.
Right.
And they did that in the first 10 minutes or so.
Yes.
So
yes.
Things happen. Weird shit happens.
Especially on the last day. Remember last year, it was super weird too. Even the year before. On the last day is always critical for either team that's getting relegated or in the bottom 5. But we haven't had this before. This is, the World Cup happened, and then things started to get really messed up. So I wouldn't count you guys out yet. I would still keep the faith. That's just me, though.
We can't afford to be on the same points. It has to be that we win our game and the other results go our way as well.
So pull a Newcastle and put up 4 or 5 on Tottenham in the first half and have Jack Harrison and Bamford doing the Isak like, the fuck is going on here?
Hopefully Bamford won't be there. Bamford, sorry.
No,
he played well leading the line, but he fails. He fails where it's most important.
This is where sentiment will absolutely come into play, and it could fuck you. All 3 of you guys have home games, so the 3 teams that we're watching are all the home team. It could be the last home Premier League match for all of these teams. So Jamie Vardy's going to be there.
Right.
Patrick Bamford's going to be there.
Maybe
Meslier might start.
Yeah,
we don't know how sentimental it's going to get.
Please, no. We don't want Meslier in the team. Sorry. I go with Robles.
Oh, okay.
Go with Robles.
Well, I want to hear from somebody who actually knows some shit, not you guys and me, who just talk nonsense. We've been dying to get her back on the show. She was on the show when I believe it was Rodrigo who was going to get the golden boot, if I'm not mistaken, was her claim after week 1. So you guys know her, you love her from all sorts of Leeds United shows. I'm not sure which ones she's actively doing, so I'll let her pitch those to you. But everybody give a big warm round of applause for Rhiannon, everybody.
Woo!
Rhiannon, I don't think you know Italy Jet. He's right there.
Nice to meet you.
He's no longer your enemy.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you too.
Welcome back.
Thanks. It's been a while.
It has. How are you feeling about all this? Okay, moving on. We're going to
Absolutely silence. Absolutely
What else
silence.
can I say? Like, I'm totally resigned to relegation. I'm just like,
Oh no.
You're just wiping your hands with it. It is what it is, right? Is that
it is what it is.
Yeah.
David has basically said most of what I feel about Leeds anyway, in the fact that they've had no gumption. Like, there's been no fight. There's been like, why defend a 1-0?
Yeah.
Against West Ham? Why defend a 1-0? Like, you literally just scored. Why are you defending? And the fact that our defense is shite. I'm just like, oh.
And honestly, why defend a 1-0 also? Because we've just spent the past 5 minutes talking about goal differential. If you guys were all over West Ham, and that goal came from a throw-in, so that just shows you any set piece we can score on.
And why hasn't McKenna been on those long throws all like since
we talked about that like 2 weeks ago when actually Mr. Tom threw out a random thing and he said Leeds United has parted ways with their throw-in coach, and we're like, what? And then we see Weston McKennie throwing these long balls, and we're like, oh, that's why, because Weston McKennie's been sitting here with long throws.
Right.
Fire that fucking dude. Get rid of him. Because now every time the ball goes out of play anywhere in your half, it's nearly a corner kick. So that should be where you live. That's where Brentford lives. Brentford screws teams left and right with those.
Right.
That's not just a long throw either. That goes like a rocket.
And
it goes like a rocket low. Yeah.
He puts spin on it and he can get it moving. So I'm like, okay, look, if that's how you're going to endear yourself to the team, because his attitude has been absolute shit since he arrived.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's true.
And I've defended him a little bit.
I have a little bit too, but I'm not defending him anymore. I'm not defending him anymore. I can't.
Yeah, you know what? I'd have to disagree with you a little bit, guys.
Really?
Because he's not being used to his best potential and
in the right position.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but he's not exactly at peak fitness either. I'm sorry, he's not.
He was eating a lot of pasta in Italy. Yeah,
he's not. He's not at peak fitness. I mean,
maybe not.
Everyone's blowing a freaking gasket by freaking half an hour. None of them are fit to play football anyway.
I think we can blame Mr. Marsh for that.
Oh, I think Bill.
Well, he's not going to be played at the last game. That's very unlikely. Like, Allardyce has come out in his press conference saying, like, if they can play through pain, they are going to play through pain. Like, so Rodrigo, who was also injured, is probably going to get a load of injections to actually play, because
get through the game.
We need to actually look like we're going to give it a go.
I think Luke Ayling. Oh man, when I read
he highlighted it, didn't
he? He said it clearly. He said when we first came up, and even last season, teams feared our fitness. They feared that, oh shit, we're playing Leeds. We might beat them by 6, but we're never going to stop.
I am not being offended. I do not mean to offend fellow Americans. But that all went tits up when Jesse Marsh came in. He didn't give a shit about fitness. I'm sorry, he didn't. That was all Bielsa with his murder ball and all that. And yes, I understand. Bielsa ball probably wouldn't have lasted a very long time in the Premier League. I get that. But at the same time, how has it gone so wrong from working as a unit under Bielsa to then just completely do a whole 180, and now we're not. And now Luke Ayling's blowing out his arse through half.
Yeah, that's true. And Marsh didn't have a good track record of fitness either with all of his other teams as well, so that didn't help either.
Well, he came in and he said, one of the first things he said was, wow, this is cool. Usually the first thing you do as a new manager is run their asses off to get them fit. And I don't have to do that. They're already there. So we can start working on other shit. But then he never maintained the fitness.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
You got to do that eventually.
Can I? I'll criticize Marsh on certain things.
Yeah.
But he wasn't backed properly.
No,
he wasn't backed properly.
The management.
He didn't have coaches brought in.
Yeah.
We appointed. Well, the club appointed his assistant coach, his proper assistant coach, the one he wanted, just before he got sacked.
Yep.
You know,
also,
when he.
What I don't understand as well. Also, what I don't understand, and this I think is completely down to Victor Outta. Why then give him the January transfer window to bring all the players that he wants to bring in and then sack him?
There's a lot that's been going on behind the scenes that we will never find out.
That makes sense, because it just doesn't. Because you've given him the transfer window. You've given him like 75 million to play with. And
that's not much. Yeah.
There's
in the Premier League, it's not much. Yeah.
There's conflicting reports, isn't there? Because what you've had, they did the same with Bielsa.
Yeah.
They had the transfer window. He got sacked after the transfer window. Not that he really got backed anyway. And then with respect to Jesse, there's been reports that Andrea wanted him gone, but then Otta stuck his oar in and basically said, if he goes, I go, blah, blah, blah. But now Otta has come out and said he should have gone in the World Cup break. So it's a web of lies.
That he was always going to back Marsh.
But did he?
Yes.
It's a web of lies. It's a web of lies.
Yes, because he would have been sacked before World Cup. Actually, do you know what was our undoing? Was Liverpool win.
Beating Liverpool, yeah.
That was our undoing, because that kept Marsh into the job after.
What a great night there.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
You've got to hold on to those
David,
moments.
good to see you, man. Renan, nice to meet you. Lolo, appreciate
All right,
you,
Italy. We'll see you next week.
Good luck in the final. Good luck in the final.
Guys, we got a lot of people backstage that are itching to talk, and not necessarily only about Leeds United, but I want to stay here. You got backup. We got some backup with Mr. Tom.
Hey.
What's going on, Tom?
Apologies, I may sound ill.
Whoa!
Jesus Christ, who's that for? Jesus fucking hell! He needs to go over with a lawnmower or something.
Does everybody see Mr. Tom? For some reason, I can't see him.
Yeah, I see him.
Okay, I can hear him, but
I see him. I hear him.
All right. It's every now and then with my computer. I just want to get to this one comment that has seemed to make some people a little bit angry in the comment section. Mr. Trousers here says Leeds are inherently a championship team suited to the championship. Right. It's where they belong. Now, before we get all spout out everything, I just want to know, let you guys know, Ian, Pincushion, and even Momaster have stood up for you guys. Even Momaster stood up for you guys, which is awesome. But I just want to say, look, that's a harsh comment. And I have to say, I disagree with you about the club. Yeah. The club is not a championship club. The club is not suited to the championship, and the club does not belong in the championship. The team
is the team that's different.
The ownership, the current situation, whatever the fuck is going on at Leeds United right now, maybe they do need maybe they are too big for their britches, as we say here. And you heard, I read some comments about Radrizzani and Otta about how people on their level at other clubs and different clubs find them obnoxious and find them condescending. And that's why a lot of these deals aren't going through. And that's why they walk in the room like, here we go. It's me. I'm here. When it's like, relax. You need to be making deals and shit like that. So I think something is inherently wrong with Leeds United currently. But the club, is a Premier League club. The club is top level English football and deserves to be in top level.
I have a question. I have a question. What are britches?
Trousers. You don't know what britches are? Oh, see,
I know the saying.
Normally held up with suspenders.
Yeah, I'm from the South, so yeah, you're too big for your britches. But yeah, and wasn't Mowgli called Lil Britches by Baloo?
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you guys think of that comment? Are you guys a championship squad team? Do you deserve to be in the championship?
I agree with it. He's right.
I mean, to be fair, because our Premier League team is just pretty much made up of our old guard still, which came from the Championship. We haven't. The reason we're in this situation now is because we haven't evolved like as we should have. We're not acting like a club that's in their third season of the Premier League. Like, where's the involvement? There just isn't any.
Yeah,
we should have sacked ages ago. We should have sacked. I love Dallas. Don't get me wrong, but we should have sacked off Dallas ages ago. We should have sacked off Cooper. They should be in championship clubs at the moment. I'm sorry, but it's true. Or at least be bench warmers.
When you've got Forshaw coming on in the last couple of games, and he's your best midfielder, you've got a problem. And he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player. And if he was injury free and totally fit, he would fit in the Premier. But he's had a career of illness, or should I say injuries, and he's lucky to be playing Premiership football, or Premier football, should I say, not Premiership. That's rugby. You're absolutely right, Rhiannon.
And I hate to say it, even Luke Ayling, as good as he's been at times, you see that of like seeing Luke Ayling on the pitch is like he should be relaxing on a beach. Like, he did his job. He got you guys to the Premier League, and he should have been able to go, thank you so much. I'm walking away. And it looks like he's out there going like, I'm fucking trying, guys, but I'm not the best defender. I'm not the best wing back. I'm not the best at anything, but I work harder than all of you. And it's just like, it can't.
You can't deny his heart and his application.
Exactly.
And he's saving you. I had a colleague the other day, I was chatting to him, and funnily enough, he was chatting to Luke in the park up in Harrogate. And this was maybe about 4 weeks ago. And, he was like, Christ, I don't want this to end. I don't want this to end. I've spent my whole career waiting for this, and I don't want it to finish yet. I'm not ready for it. Unfortunately, it's just not up to the quality. That's the sad truth. And that's the sad truth with a few of our players. They're not up to the quality. And as has been said, we shouldn't be playing players that got us up from the Championship. We should have evolved on. I don't think COVID helped, because that first season, the club didn't make the money that they would normally have made. They lost at least 60 million because of no attendances. So therefore, there was no transfers, etc. really in the first year. Bielsa was basically putting a plaster over a big injury at that club. And it's only in the last season that they've actually really splashed in proper cash. But it's all been too little, too late. And poor buys, some of them as well.
All right, Tom. What do you have to say about all this?
Oh, right. I'll tell you why his statement's correct, because factually, not my opinion. Factually, we've spent most of our existence in the second tier. So again, not an unfair comment to make. Also, you've got to keep in mind, people think we have a delusion of grandeur. We think we're bigger than we actually are. Again, not my opinion. Fact of the matter is, we delude ourselves that we won the European Cup in 1975 when we didn't. It's true, though. It's true. It's delusion.
It is.
It's delusion. And also, if you told me 4 years ago when we got promoted, that we'd be back down 3 years later and still have Patrick Bamford up front. Well, I want to know what the fuck happened. Pardon my language.
Do you know
what the fuck happened?
Do you know what's going to be sad about this? Is that what I think is very true is that once we get relegated on Sunday, it's literally going to feel like a dream. It's literally going to feel like Bielsa was a dream.
Doesn't it feel a bit like that already?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. It just feels, it kind of does, but I'm just saying it will cement that fact. That, like, it will just feel like the whole Bielsa journey that we had from playoffs, going up during COVID, and then just getting 9th in the first year.
Yeah,
it'll just feel like an absolute dream. And then it'll be like, oh, okay, we've woken up, we're back to reality, we're back in the championship. It's like we haven't left.
That was the worst thing. That was the worst thing that happened. Finishing 9th. Sorry, I'll be quick. Finishing 9th, worst thing, because it made them think we already had the blocks to finish 9th again, and we clearly did not.
No.
Yeah, full sense of security.
Yeah.
I've spent the evening with a friend who's a Luton fan. You can imagine how he's feeling. And I've followed Luton because I've spent a lot of time with him the last couple of years, my mate. I can see Luton going up, and it just blows my mind that Luton are probably going up and we're going down. You know, good luck to them. But what a sad state of affairs for Leeds.
Yeah. Well, guys, it is happy hour, as somebody pointed out, and you guys have absolutely depressed me. So
we haven't got on to Arsenal capitulating yet.
That's me. So it's time to bring in some of our special guests, our even equally special guests. There you go. I was going to say more special, but no, we're all special here. But these two guys are sitting pretty at the top of the table, and both of these teams are going into the Champions League for the first time in a long time. So let's get.
They might be at the top of the table, but they ain't pretty.
Okay. No. Well, it depends, to each his own. Look, and Tony's rearranging himself on the bed right now to just get there. Hi, Tony. Champions. Oh, I missed that. I've ordered my new Arsenal kit for next season with the Champions League logo. The knockoff one from Thailand, probably, I'm sure, because I'm not paying $200 for a kit. But Gary, Tony, Champions League football. What the fuck?
I was listening to you guys, and it sounded like, kids or people talking about how they're struggling to make ends meet, and they get like maybe one meal a day. And I'm going to come on complaining about, the Ferrari that I went out to get with my parents. They didn't have the right color, so now I got to wait.
They didn't put enough avocado on my bacon sandwich.
There you go. There you go. They didn't cut the crust off the sandwich, so now how am I supposed to eat it? Things like that. But
Gary, congrats.
Yes. We got one of our goals. All right, got one of our goals. We wanted to be top 10, top 4. We did that, so I'll take that. But it's I've been saying a lot to Mr. Tom. No, you guys are okay, and I just stopped talking about it. Eventually, just stopped talking.
You were the jinx then.
Probably.
No, it was you, Rhiannon. You guys were doing fantastic when you were on the show a lot, and then you got comfortable, and you were like, "They'll be fine without me."
It's all your fault.
There's Stephen Lott, who's in Leeds is struggling
on this panel, right? Just blame her, yeah. Oh, guys.
It's not Tom's somber tone that's gone more and more somber throughout the season. That's not it. He's here week in, week out. If we let him talk or not, he's here. There he goes.
I've got a question for Tony.
Yes.
Why were you so shit against Leicester?
It was pretty awful. Oh, they should the amount of goals that should have gone. I couldn't believe it. Off the post, I think everybody. Dan Byrne was taking attempts at goal. Fabian Schär was taking. I was waiting for Nick Pope to get up there and try to put one in, but it didn't happen, unfortunately.
Wait, what was the result of that match?
0-0.
0-0.
0-0.
Oh yeah.
0-0.
Draw.
About 78 efforts by Newcastle to 1 to Leicester, and they couldn't score. Yeah, they should have won.
Leicester probably should have won.
Yeah, they should have won.
Did you notice it in injury time, basically, in the
Last
extra
8 minutes.
time? Yeah, Newcastle basically were time wasting just to get their point, because they knew if they lost the ball, there was a good chance they could end up losing that game.
Yeah, they just
Because
threw up the
Leicester
party.
absolutely. But I
Yeah,
was
I
just
think
like,
Bill was
what are
scared.
you doing, Newcastle? What are you doing to us?
Once Newcastle couldn't catch Arsenal for second place, it was like, just don't lose top four, just don't lose top four. And so it was this mentality of like, I remember watching that Leicester match, just like, these aren't the same guys who just played who were beating the shit out of Tottenham, putting up 4-5. Now maybe we had something to do with that.
No, I still played well against you.
That wasn't the team that played the second half against us, who finished like that clinically. You know?
Just couldn't
I'm
finish.
just astounded.
So while we're talking about Newcastle, to keep everybody in the conversation, I feel like when we talk about Newcastle, I want to have a little bit of, camaraderie, pride of like, look, you guys were, another massive club, similar to Leeds United in the scale, the size of the fan base and all that. But you've been down in the doldrums for a while, and to be able to come through and make these changes that you've made and get Champions League football and potentially be vying for the title and trophies and all that, I want to be proud for you guys. I want to be a little bit proud of you guys. But then there's this weird voice in the back of my head that I don't understand because it's speaking some Arab language. Like Saudi Arabia type stuff going on in the back of my head. Like, how do you cope with that as a Newcastle fan? And what do we all think?
I just hear panel? Walmart and all of St. Louis hating on the Kroenke family. So
we're not talking about that.
all of St. Louis and all of Walmart. So I mean, we could do that too.
Definitely St. Louis. I don't think they're allowed to even.
No, I mean it's a part of it. So it's a discussion I always have with people when PIF is brought up. Same with Live Golf or Formula One. Aramco is the main sponsor. So I don't know. And the City Football Group owns the team I like in Italy, so I'm kind of doomed. I don't really know how to go about it. So I had Mike Ashley, who I know people. My one friend up north gave away. He was one of those people 4 years ago who gave up his season ticket just because he was done. So, and then you have the face of the ownership group who did a halftime challenge for the Newcastle Food Bank. I think it was on Monday they did it. And so it's just a complete 360 of what Mike Ashley was. I mean, he changed the name of St. James Park to Sports Direct Arena, and he put no money into it, but now if PIF or anything is linked to it, it's the worst thing in the world. But Mike Ashley did it for 16 years, and now it's just people who actually want the club to do well. So it's just odd that there's the hate for it when they had somebody who didn't care. Now he owns Coventry. He owns the ground where Coventry can't even play. So now he's doing it to somebody else. So sorry, I kind of went off on a lot.
No. That's all good insight that we don't know because we don't give a fuck about your club. But
No, it's okay.
No, it's all stuff. It's all stuff that we, I know the name Mike Ashley, and I know that he was a divisive figure, and but I didn't know things like that. Where, like, dude, you don't change the name of St. James Park. Like,
yeah, he literally did it, and then he blasted adverts all over the ground, and like there was no money actually given to the club at all. Like the new PIF, like shirt sponsor, the rumor is it's gonna be 25 million. It's like a third party event company, but now it's a big deal.
Basically.
Yeah, but Mike Ashley had that for 16 years, and it was nobody cared. But now because they're doing well, it's like, oh wait, you can't do that. It's like
I think you do Mike Ashley a disservice. You know that. I do. I think you do him a disservice because if it hadn't been for Mike Ashley, Newcastle would have disappeared years ago.
I mean,
he came in and he pumped a lot of money into that club
in the first couple of years. Sure.
Yeah.
When they got relegated,
but it's a business.
Yeah, sure.
It's a business. It's got to find its own way. Not that I've not got no problems with the where you are at the moment. I think it's fantastic for the club, and it's a club. The supporters are like Leeds supporters. They've had hard times, and they deserve a bit of joy. And there's not been a lot of cash spent, so you can't really say it's the oil money that have got them up there. It's getting in a good manager who's made the team have brought in some good players, special players like Dan Burns and people like that. Not big names, but
saved your ass. That right there, I think the appointment of Eddie Howe and the fact that he didn't clean house and bring in a shit ton of new players, but we're seeing your season was carried by the likes of Almiron and Joel Linton and I don't know the rest of your players, but who were there before?
Willick, Callum Wilson.
Yeah, Willick, Callum Wilson. So these are players that were already there, and we were all writing them off as they're mid players. All of a sudden, Joel Linton has something to fight for, put him in a new position, change him up, free Miggy. And then Callum Wilson, all of a sudden, I can score when I'm getting Trippier crosses in like crazy. So it's, to me, Eddie Howe and Kieran Trippier were the master strokes.
Yeah.
And not clearing house.
Trippier, especially on the playing staff.
Absolutely.
Trippier and Dan Burns.
And
made a big, massive difference. Trippier's a big name. Dan Burns isn't. What a difference he's made.
Mo Master says nobody cares about Newcastle. You better care about Newcastle because they're going to knock your ass out of the Champions League next year. So just watch out, Mo Master. Keep sleeping on these British teams.
Mo Master, Real Madrid.
Yeah, he doesn't even watch Premier League. He just loves telling us about how terrible.
He just likes racism.
That's all Real Madrid stands
for. It was actually them that got the racism, but that's not so honest. It was the Valencian. Valencian fans.
La Liga hasn't done anything about racism for years, so now they care because it's a main player.
They won't do anything over there.
As the guy who's in Spain, so I'm sure you see it firsthand.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Mo Master.
So, Rhiannon, Gary, Tom, what are your thoughts on that whole Newcastle situation? Should they be overwhelmingly proud? Oh, John did you a good one there, Tony. He's got the Sandcastle logo up.
The Sandcastle, nice.
I think they've got a good manager in Eddie Howe. I think he's done really well with them, especially when they were sort of down in the bottom half of the table in the league, and then obviously he's come in, he's regalvanized the team, hasn't he? And he's got these decent players in, and he's made them work as a team. he's lit fire under their bellies and actually, and they've gotten the results there because they deserve. I don't know about other Leeds fans, but the Leeds fans that I speak to on a daily basis, we have kind of, I probably wouldn't say soft spot per se, but we have like a respect for Newcastle. And so we don't really have a problem with Newcastle as a team. I feel that we are quite similar, like you said, Lolo, in like size of fan base, etc. And we're one team city, so it's. I think for him, seriously, like
be happy. You're not controlled by who
and
purchases
plus,
your club.
great because it's not the usual top six.
Absolutely.
It's nice to see a team get into the top six that isn't a top six team.
Tom disagrees.
They're
Tom,
not going to be out of it for now. It's a 7 now. It's a 7, which makes it exponentially more difficult for the other 13.
Yeah.
no, we're kicking Tottenham
I
out.
don't know what I'm hearing. I don't know what I'm hearing about Newcastle.
Why do you-
like we're all happy that happened.
Why
Well,
can't you
it's not just Newcastle, Tom. It's Newcastle, Brighton, and Villa.
Brentford.
They're in the top 7.
For now.
Yeah, for now. But they could be come the end of Sunday, end of the season.
I mean, the one thing those teams can learn from Newcastle is you don't have to sell your players. Like right now, we're talking about Brighton losing 2 to 3 of their top players. Well, if they do that, then they're just going to drop right back down. And when they could probably take what they've just built, improve on it, piss everybody off because they're not going to sell their players because everybody expects them to, and continue to grow the team. I mean, they have a good system there. They can identify quality players for cheap. That's probably the best thing you can do if you're not going to have like billion pound owners. I mean, I don't know what, like, they're set up to break this top 6, top 7 group if they continue to do what they've been doing, which is to keep the best players they got and then go out there and find, if they're going to do the scouting, we all talk about their scouting being really good. Why not keep doing that? I don't know, we'll see if they're going to sell the money, if it's all about the money and not really about building a team that can win. Because I mean, they've got quality players there, and it'd be bad for them to do that for their fans. I mean, they lost their manager. Did it make a difference? Nope. They've lost top players this year. Did it make a difference? Nope. So what more you've got a formula that seems to be working. The next step is, can you continue and be consistent with it without having to sell your top players to do it? Can they do that?
You're gonna see a ceiling there, though, Gary. I think that's the problem. Like, we can sing Brighton's praises all we want, but their ceiling may have been hit already.
Well, we don't know that yet because this has only been the first year, right? Because we don't know that yet. I mean,
Leicester had
a couple of years of time where they were sitting there top 4 for a while. You just got in the top 6, right? And if you're going to throw in a towel already, then that probably is what they call the small team mentality, right? But they can't play with everybody in the league, right? City is an anomaly right now, but they can play with most teams.
Except when they play Everton, Gary.
True. You know what? Every team has that team that they just can't get over. You know what I mean? You got at least 1 or 2 of them. But like, no, I kind of feel like I look at these other teams and I'm like, well, damn it. I'm complaining. I'm Arsenal. I'm second, but I'm like, this is why sometimes you need an experienced manager, because they don't need to revamp and scorch the earth and build it back up again. They can take what they've got sitting there. They can be that, that experienced chef and go in there with like little bits of, ingredients and create a masterpiece out of it, and you're like, damn, this cost me nothing and I got this out of it. You know what I mean? That's what I look at when I see, what Newcastle did, because they didn't spend tons of money. They did spend a lot. But they did, but they can spend a lot more. Well, they probably not, because it'll mess up what they've built. All right, they've got some really.
Oh, they will do. They will do this
but
summer.
they've got some really good players there that,
Yeah.
are they going to push them? Like a Dan Burns is going to play 110% for you, right? I hate playing against him. You know what I mean? On his day, you're just pissed off that you got to play against him, right? So there's that. So it's you know what it is? It's discipline, and that's what you look at some of the top teams. They're disciplined in what they do, right? And they just stick to it no matter what. And like, they don't care what the fans think. They don't care what the media thinks. They just do their thing, and they stick to it, right? Because Brighton is doing that, right? We're seeing Brighton do that now, and we're like, you know what? Why not? So it's good and bad. It's going to make it more competitive at the top, but it's going to make it even harder for those trying to get in, right? But but there is a lot of money in this game, so you do have your opportunity. You just have to, I guess, initially survive and then build, right? I think Leeds survived, but they never built, right? You let Rafina go and you never replaced him. I mean, at that time he was a pretty good player. He hasn't looked so good now, but I guess as I say, there's like levels to this thing. Sometimes they leave, and you see in the world of football, they're just not that big. But for you, they were perfect, right? And you needed to kind of replace that, and you weren't able to do that, and that kind of hurt. And too much, like I said, discipline and consistency helps as well. Let Marsh do his thing or not, right? If you're gonna let him do his thing, let him do it and see how it goes. If not, then you need to make smart decisions, like you said, and get him out before you spend money on under his leadership. So those are kind of some crazy maneuvers they're doing right there, and it hurt. It really hurt, because you're like 3 points. You're a win away, right? Who knows where those 3 points could have come from? Could have been 3 games, because you led in at least 3 of the last like 5 or 6 games you had a lead in. So it's
I think from winning position we've lost something like 21, 22 points.
25 points.
25.
Jesus.
25 points from winning positions we've lost.
Yeah.
It just kills me just thinking of that.
And those are margins you realize when it's happening, right? You look back now, you're like, damn.
But you think of specific moments, and then you think of Bamford pretty much all the time. You think of the miss against Leicester. You think about his penalty miss against Newcastle. Just think, if he scored that, Woba might not have conceded that penalty two minutes later. We might not have let Newcastle in. It's just...
And you were all over Newcastle. You were all over Newcastle.
It's just so frustrating. And then I get it. Like, they do, like Bamford and that, I do respect them to a degree, because they did get us promoted. I do respect Ayling to a degree. I do respect Forshaw, etc., etc. But there comes a time where... But criticism is deserved. I'm not having people come out and say, oh, we shouldn't criticise Bamford because he got us up. It's like, no, he's been shit. Therefore, he deserves that criticism. But he's been a crock pretty much this season anyway. Like, he's been...
That's half the problem. His
injury issues this season, he hasn't... And then everything...
He's injured last year.
His mental state, it's just not his season.
Has he played? He hasn't played a full season yet, right?
Nah.
Like in the Premier League, like he's never.
First season, he had a good season.
Yeah, the first season.
Goals, and he was the 4th top scorer in the Premier League.
Yeah. I enjoyed watching you guys play, because you almost beat Liverpool on the first day, and I was like, damn it! I did not beat them on the first day of the season. That would have been like,
and there was a stupid penalty that shouldn't have been called.
Can I? Yeah. I'm just gonna say, and with regards Bamford, again, it's not his fault though, because he shouldn't be the first choice striker.
He shouldn't be. I know.
You know.
I know.
We should have better players, but we've not evolved, as we've all said. Getting back onto Newcastle, you watched them this summer in the transfer window. 5 or 6 good players they're going to be bringing in, and they'll need to because of the fact they're going to be fighting on different fronts. Dan Burns, they'll bring somebody else in who's a better left back. And Dan Burns is good.
Proper left back.
Yeah, proper left back, not a centre half who's been put out wide. I mean,
Yeah,
he does a fantastic
but
job.
Those are the good players, though. Right? Those are the players that you need sometimes. I mean, talk about versatility in players, and then sometimes we don't see those players actually get to do that when the team needs it. Right? The team needed it. They put him out there. Did they miss a beat? No. His name comes up, and it wasn't for only bad reasons. It was always for good reasons. Every time you heard his name come up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But they'll step up a level. The same. Arsenal will need to step up a level because
we have no choice. We have no choice.
You've not got enough strength in depth at the level that you're at.
Absolutely. If Arsenal don't spend a ton of money and actually be kind of ruthless about it, stagnating, doing exactly the same footballing level that we did this season. Who's in charge of that
ticker thing down there? That guy needs to be fired. cut his salary.
But Gary, we can't cut it any lower.
Oh, damn it.
So who am I writing a check to?
He's like, what? It's going to cost me $2 to be able to put up whatever thing I want? Sure. But no, if Arsenal just stay exactly the same as we were this season, we may not even make top 4 because I was going to say
you'll struggle for 4. Yeah,
Manchester United is going to be better than they were this season, and they finished top 4. Tottenham, you would expect, would have to get better. Maybe not. Chelsea will get better. Chelsea will.
Here's my fairy tale. Here's my fairy tale. Harry Kane, the last game of the season, they get destroyed. That's my fairy tale.
He goes
and then he decides, you know what, I probably should leave. Like the warning, the words are out there, like you should leave now, probably. Just go, maybe, because it's not happening here. And that'd be good for you. I know a couple of people on this panel, and if that happens, right? Because they didn't do so good last week. Why not just do 2 in a row, and they can go out? Because a lot of people think he deserves to go somewhere else where he can probably get better, right? Get better results and maybe get a trophy, even though it'd be funny for him to stay and not get anything. So it's up to him what he wants to do, right? He wants to make us happy, or kind of like, he won't be the butt of any jokes if he gets a trophy, right? Because you can't say anything about it. But no, I think Arsenal has to. I mean, I don't like that. They just picked up Reeves Nelson. I hope they don't pay him too much, because we just did that last season. We paid Nketiah a lot of money, and we don't feel like we can sell them because we put too much money in their pockets every week. And that kind of hurts you when you're like, well, does he give you the answers to the questions? And most of the time it's no. So then why you? I don't understand when anybody says I'm giving him a contract to improve his value.
Good night, Ben.
No, that never works.
Gary, what's happened with Arsenal is we were kind of the ugly, dorky, weird kid without a date to prom, and we're asking anybody who will talk to us, we're asking them to go with us to prom. We're like, yeah, and whatever, Eddie, yeah, I'll pay you to go to prom with me. And then right before prom, we release like an app and it makes us a millionaire. And all of a sudden the cool kids are looking at us, and all of a sudden we were like this, but now we're stuck with all the people we asked to prom, all the weirdos that are going to prom with us, when it's like, no, but I so now we're stuck. We're going to prom with Eddie Nketiah and fucking Reeves Nelson, which, and even Emil Smith Rowe. I'm still like, why do you give that kid the number 10 shirt? He hasn't even played a full season ever.
You know what? Emil Smith Rowe a couple of seasons ago was terrific.
No, I mean, it was
Terrific.
good. It was good last
Yeah,
season.
What
so
a
was Jack
potential.
Wilshere.
It was one of he
What a
scored double
potential.
figures, but
So was Jack Wilshere.
yeah,
He's dropped off a cliff somewhere.
yeah.
He's
I know he got
jumped
injured.
on the table. He's on the table all the time. He's always something is just not there. And
Not right.
and
Same,
then
same thing happened
Odegaard,
with Reece Nelson. I believe started the season on the injury list. Basically,
Mhm.
Bonnet came in, gave us some flashes of good play, then got injured again. And you're like, and then the World Cup and all this stuff. He hasn't played that many games. One, because he hasn't been available, and we can't afford. Once I say this every season, we can't afford to have players that Arteta looks to the bench and they're not there. You know what I mean? They have to be there.
But every club has that, Gary.
Yeah.
Every club has. Every club at one time or other during the season will have 4 or 5 players on the bench, maybe 6.
Yeah. But it can't be the
You
same
know?
players every season.
Invariably, it is because unfortunately,
No,
that's
but
the
at some
nature of
point
the
you
beast.
can't hold on to them anymore because they're not
No.
available to you. So you kind of have to make a decision whether you're going to keep them. And when you re-up on them, that doesn't.
Well, Emil Smith Rowe is a good example, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you do with him this year?
Yeah.
Do you farm him out, or
If
what?
we're talking about being ruthless and thinking about playing in Champions League, we need players, hopefully either with a little bit more experience or more reliable in terms of their body.
Well, yes,
No.
absolutely. But also the problem with Emil Smith Rowe is they haven't really known what his position is. They don't know where to play him. So he was out on the wing. He was playing as a center forward. He was, oh no, now he's going to be a
number
true
10.
number 10. Let's give him the number 10 shirt. That is who he's going to be. Now I'm hearing he is understudying Xhaka for that Xhaka role. And I'm like, wait, okay. I mean, he's a big kid.
No.
He's good going forward, but I don't know if he can cover defensively the way Xhaka does. So
you can't be switching these kids like this over every,
that's
every
the thing.
year.
If you don't know what to do with them,
it's let somebody else give them, because ultimately what it needs to happen, they need to go play football regularly, like every week.
Yeah.
And if you can't give it to them, if you can't figure out where to play them, they have to go somewhere else and get somebody to figure out where they can play best. And that's not with Arsenal.
Yeah.
Arsenal, we're done with the project stuff with the young kids who don't have a identity yet in their game. They need to, because we need to, if we're going to continue to grow and get, better in this thing called football, we need players that we know where they're going to play every week. And yes,
Are Arsenal in for McAllister or not?
I don't think. I don't even know if they would even consider that.
Tom,
should,
have you heard anything about that?
No, it's
Who's in for
Liverpool that
McAllister?
want him, apparently.
Is it
Liverpool want him,
Liverpool? Is it?
apparently.
He
Yeah,
would be a good. He would be a good fit in an Arsenal side.
But he wanted to play in the
McAllister.
Champions League, so why would he go to Liverpool now?
That
You know what?
is
There is a poll when you have what some consider the second best manager in the world, right?
Who?
And it's Liverpool and all that. That's why you would go there, right?
He's
I
signing
mean,
for Uruguay.
that's why they got players to go there in the first place. Sometimes, because they had a really good manager, right? So, if you I think that's the pull. Yeah, they're going to be playing in Europe, just not Champions League, but they have Klopp. So, and they've shown that if he does it right, they can be right back there again. So I kind of feel like that's another thing. If you have the right manager, you can get the players too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A manager can draw players, that's without a doubt.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of manager,
wow, that is just not. Somebody's not nice. Somebody is just really wow. Okay.
John, what you doing to us?
Talk about gut punch. It was like, come on.
How it all goes to shit in 18 months. That's
exactly
what that was. Jesus.
Well, everybody, it's we are at about 70 minutes into the show, so a little bit over halftime, but as we like to remind everybody on this show, we are not a bunch of children doing a YouTube channel. We are old people, so we need a pee break to do a 2-hour video, and we're drinking. So it is about time for our halftime. So we will be back in, let's see, how long is this video? Oh, I lost it somehow.
3 minutes and 6 seconds. It's all the way
3
up
minutes
top.
and 6
There you go.
seconds. You got this, John? All right. So we will be back in 3 minutes and 6
I know
seconds.
who Ozil is too. To the Mo Master, I know who he is.
Yeah, Mo Master is. Yeah, he's just trying to get a bite. He's just fishing. He's just fishing. Gary knows who Ozil is. He just probably calls him Urzil or something.
Yes. Basel or something or whatever. Yeah.
All right, so here is a classic happy hour bit. If you don't know it, you will know it. It's called "If It's Not Leeds United, Fuck 'Em." We'll be back in.
Here's a question: When you guys were in the desert that was the championship for 16 years, did you watch any Premier League games?
No. I didn't watch any of them. Fuck them. I didn't watch a single minute of a Premiership match. Swear to God. I didn't give a shit.
What about
I must admit, I
Champions League
used
or
to.
anything like that.
No, I still don't watch. I don't watch anything but Leeds, mate. Nothing but Leeds. That's it. And that's all I care about.
I must
I
admit,
don't
I'm with
give
James
a
this season.
fuck
This season,
about
I've
any
struggled
other
to
club.
watch other games.
Bielsa watches everybody. You should too.
No, and what I really hate is like people like talk, oh, that was a great match, man. That was a great match. And it wasn't even involving your club. I mean, no one cares. No, I don't care about that, man. No one care. I don't care about anything that doesn't involve Leeds.
All right. So in the last 15 years,
I
That's
fucking
it.
love you, James.
I love Leeds. I love
how many
Leeds.
times have you watched?
I love Leeds. Full stop.
So the
Full
last
stop, mate. I
So
love
you-
Leeds. I
you just
don't give
missed
a fuck about anybody else.
15 years. Like, is that what you're saying? Like, you didn't? Did you watch Lionel Messi or Ronaldo or anyone?
No.
Oh, nobody watches that.
No, don't care. I don't care. I only care about Leeds.
That's fucking insane.
I don't know. I don't even know who those people are. Who are they?
How do you know how
Lionel Richie and someone? I can't remember. What did you say?
James.
I'm in a bubble, mate. I'm in a bubble. It's called the Leeds bubble. I'm there. I'm here to stay. I signed up for this 40 years ago, and I'm not leaving. It's the 40 years.
I wanted to ask you, James.
It's Leeds bubble. I don't watch. I don't give a fuck about any other team.
No.
Premiership. I really don't.
Well, in
I
that
don't
case,
give a
in that
flying
case,
you on the
today's
train.
one.
I hate
Today's
them all.
one
I hate
for
them all.
because we scored
There's
it.
varying degrees of hatred.
Right. But
It's
seriously,
going to make me hate you.
See, James, that's the thing is you think that like bothers James at all? James expects he expects that you hate Leeds. He comes.
I want you to hate Leeds.
Exactly.
I want you to hate us. You
well,
know,
after
I
this
don't
season,
want you
we
to
should
like
hate
us,
the fact
any
that
of
the
you.
Wolves beat you.
No. Look, I love your hatred, man. I feed off of it. I feed off your hatred like any Leeds fan does. We don't give a fuck. You hate us and we don't give a fuck.
Yes, sir, Mr. James, the legend. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody had a good potty break. All right, we've got a question in from one of our longtime Stoop crew members, Anders. I'll ask what Mr. Tom the question that Ben always asks: Who is that in the cup? Who do we have in the cup today?
Well, Lolo, I'm glad you asked. It's my boy, Omos. People that watch
Hummus?
my show on Omos. Yeah, that says it on his ass. Omos.
Oh,
Yeah, just in case I forgot his name. It's Omos. Best. It's not the best.
awesome.
Quite terrible.
Mo Master's going to ask me every player. Like now, I don't know who Messi is. So, just because I don't say his name every time I speak football doesn't mean I don't know who he is. He's that tall guy, like 6'10", right? plays. For,
Yeah,
like,
he's super tall. He's from like Uruguay.
yeah, that guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know who he is.
that guy.
I know.
All right. Well, Mr. Tom, since we focused on you for a second, let's continue focusing on Mr. Tom with the final betting in the dark of the season. What do you got for us, Tom?
Give us a good one, Tom.
I need to get.
Betting in the dark with Mr. Tom.
Come on, love, place your bets.
It's Cyril. Cyril's back, everyone. It all boils
right,
down to
Cyril.
this. Here we are for all the marbles and stuff like that. Yeah. Right, we're starting in the championship. Luton are going to win this in a penalty shootout, and I've got players to score. Their names, but one's to score first. You should probably swap them round as well to like double the chances of winning. But you know, it's good, isn't it? I mean,
That's good. That's not a bad bet, that one.
I don't know who those guys are, but I'll take your word for it.
Carers will be at a Premier side
Yeah.
next season,
yeah.
without a doubt. Terrific player. And Carlton Morris has been round the block a few times, and he knows where the net is.
So the winner of this goes up?
Yep.
Yes.
Wow.
Saturday.
We're going to need a Who the Hell Are Coventry or Who the Hell Are Luton Town video coming out.
Luton.
I do not know.
Luton.
I'm going to call them
The Hatters. The Hatters.
All right. Okay.
Can we?
I'm good with that.
We go
I'm
to
putting
the
$1 on
second
it.
slide, please.
I thought you were going to do
John.
these for $1.27, Tom.
Behave yourself, young man. You've you've spoken ahead of yourself, sir.
Oh, okay. I'm excited.
May I continue?
Yes, please.
Thank you. We all saw what happened with Sheffield Wednesday, losing 4-0 and then winning 5-1. I'm going to have them to do it again, a 4-goal win in the League One playoff final at the Wembley with their two top scorers to get at least one of the 4 goals. You could turn one into 150 times the one. Yeah? It's good. I'm telling you, it looks good. I can't sell it even any more than that. I mean, Barnsley, innit? I mean, don't like either of them, but I think Ben was there tonight, weren't he?
How do you say his name? Josh Windass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he the son of Carl Windass? Tom, is he the son of Carl Windass? Or is he like a nephew or something, or what? Anyone know?
I'll have a look for you right now.
Or is it Dean Windass, the guy that
Dean Windass?
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant Dean Windass. Yeah.
He used to play for. We played for loads of teams.
He played for Hull, didn't he, Dean Windass?
Yeah,
I remember him. Because didn't he score in the winning?
He scored a win in a playoff, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
Really ugly.
No relation.
But a hard player.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take that bet.
Here we go.
Here we go, right? I've never, ever in 2 years picked Leeds United as part of this. But that's going to change today, brother.
Throw caution to the wind.
I'm going for it. All right.
Yeah. Why not?
He's going to score first, because if he doesn't, we won't score, obviously. And Harry Kane's going to score because he scores even though they're shit. Therefore, big scores at 4:30. You know I love them. That equals money, baby. Money. 127 as well, Lolo. Yeah. You ruined
There you go. I like that. Sorry. Should have a production meeting.
4-3.
Wow.
Oh wow! Just think of it.
When you guys played them earlier in the season at the shithole, it was
We lost
4-3
4-3.
to them, right? And it was
Yeah.
back and forth.
They were lucky.
And our first
That
game
was a
and our first
crazy
game in the
match.
Premier League was 4-3. Potentially our last game in the Premier League could be 4-3.
Ooh.
I'm getting lots of 4s and 3s, baby, and we're just money. You can make it. If you bet against me, you'll be a poor man. But if you bet with me, you could be rich overnight. Ask Mark and his little silly crown thing.
Seriously though,
Yep.
if we do win 4-3, that result is going to kill me. That game is going to kill me. Just
Yeah.
watching that back and forth, it'd just be torturous.
Especially
And
if
then you
Everton go and score in the 99th
Oh, no,
minute.
Don't put
Yeah,
that
92nd
Don't
minute
put that in the
penalty.
universe. Don't put that in the cosmos. No.
They'll send Sean Dyche up for a corner.
I tell you what, if it comes off with that score line, the tissues may be out.
And the hand sanitizer, probably. Just, he weren't talking about crying, was he? That's not PG.
Yeah. Tears of joy. Tears of joy.
Oh,
What were you talking about?
I was talking about something else. I was talking about the opposite end. I mean, well, wait, what?
Whoa,
Oh,
whoa,
man.
whoa.
Tom,
Nah, Leeds really, no. We've all been excited by Leeds United at some point.
Yeah, last
Lolo.
hurrah.
Wow. All right. Well,
Also,
I hope that happens.
You can get 10-1 on Leeds surviving.
That's not bad. That's worth
That's
a punt,
not bad.
isn't
That should be some hope.
it?
It is if it happens.
Yeah.
That would be
When
that would be a
when
lot
it
of fun.
happens. I've drunk so much now. It's not if it happens. It's when it happens.
There you go. Well, speaking
I'm
of
not
all
there
of
yet. I'm not
What
there.
could you have added like where
Have a couple
Charleston
more.
scores, takes his shirt off, and it gets reverted? You should have put that one in there as well. That's gotta boost up the odds.
yeah. Okay, Director John, you've got some
Fuck it.
good looking
Who
graphic
Charleston to
stuff
score a
down
goal that
here.
doesn't count? You'll pay $1 million. Fuck it. I'll make it up.
All right. So, John, correct me if I'm wrong, but these were our original predictions from the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, this didn't go well.
All right.
I've seen them.
So let's take a look at some of these. Who do we have up first? Oh, you have everybody. Here we go. First place. Ooh. Oh, I had Chelsea in the top 4. Oh gosh. I had Arsenal on 110 points, only drawing twice to Leeds United. It's close. I might be close with City on 96. How much? No, 89. They'll get 92 probably. Liverpool and Chelsea. Wow, way off the mark. Mark had Tottenham winning the league. I forgot how stupid he is.
Oh, don't be mean to him. He's not feeling well, bless him.
He's listening. No, he knows. He knew picking that was just trolling me.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of people who had Liverpool second. Wow.
Yeah.
Rhiannon, we got yours on there as well. You had Tottenham up there.
Oh Christ, I did. And I had Chelsea.
Wow. So
John
let's
showed
see.
me this earlier, and I was like, I got this so wrong. I was like, ooh.
I was like, oh, look, the guy at the bottom did really well. He nailed it.
Yeah,
But
it's
that's the actual.
Pretty
that's the
much.
actual-
Pretty much. Actual, yeah.
I don't. Yeah,
I remember
none
everyone
of
being
us-
scared all summer.
None
Everyone
of
was
us got
scared
it
because
right.
Tottenham bought Richarlison.
Please, Newcastle finish above the scum.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Chris is the only one who even picked Manchester United to be in the top 4. A lot of people had Tottenham. A lot of people had Chelsea. Wow. Those two are the only things that are keeping me sane with Arsenal bottling the league is watching the lovely, lovely demise of Chelsea. Did you guys watch that match against Manchester United
They
midweek?
are so bad in front of the
There's
goal. They
it,
don't know what they don't. They're
but
terrible.
I'd
even
rather
passing.
shit in my hands and clap.
But you know what happens if you? Oh.
Yeah, don't. Not the same. Oh, ugh. Out with the tissues again.
So let
And
me ask you
at the other end again.
let me ask you guys this:
What are you
what
doing
is
to
the
me,
most
young man?
surprising? What is the most surprising out of all of this? Is it the fact that the majority of us had Liverpool second and they're not even in the top four? Or is it Chelsea? Or is it Tottenham? Or is it even Arsenal? Not everybody had Arsenal anywhere near that. So what do you guys find the most surprising of the top four? And our bets.
For me, I guess it is Liverpool. I mean, nobody
Yeah,
expected
I
to drop
think
off.
it's
I mean,
yeah,
No,
Liverpool.
I'm surprised Arsenal are in it. The only
Valid.
reason I say that is because I remember specifically saying they'd finish fifth again. And obviously I was wrong, but I'm surprised that they're in it and so high at the top end of the top four.
Mm.
I think the biggest surprise is Chelsea flirting with relegation.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. If
Did
they'd
you
sat
see that?
Potter a month before they did, they would have got relegated.
Did you see that good meme about Lampard? It was like, I feel bad for Lampard. He was really looking for the double this year of trying to relegate Everton and Chelsea, and he's just gonna miss out. Oh, well, how does he have a fucking job?
He's
This is
objectively
it,
terrible.
right? This is it. He did such a terrible job at Chelsea the first time round. Why did they rehire him?
because they're stupid.
Because I
They're
can tell you
dumb.
why. Because they're convinced they didn't do a terrible job. They're convinced that somehow they believe that basically he managed to get top four when they were under the FIFA transfer ban. So they're convinced that he managed to get top four with the likes of Conor Gallagher and Mason Mount or whoever, and got them. I know it's bollocks, but he's convinced people of that. People believe that the sun shines out of his ass.
He did a wonderful job at Derby. He got Derby promoted, didn't he? Oh no, he didn't.
And then
Derby finished sixth the season before. Derby finished the season sixth the season before Lampard, and then the season that Lampard was in, they finished sixth.
Yeah.
It's like,
Sorry,
yeah, that's real.
I forgot that
great
right.
Did Derby go straight from Rooney to Lampard?
No,
Because wasn't Rooney
other way
at
round.
Derby?
Lampard. No, it went from Lampard to Philip Koku, and then to Wayne Rooney.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I had a guy in between.
Mm.
That's not PG either. Wait, what? Sorry. Can someone's talk?
Rooney's doing all right now, though,
You
isn't he?
just got a dirty mouth today, Mr. Tom.
Rooney's doing okay with the Washington boys.
Rooney's proven to be one of the smarter ex-player managers out there, where he's taking his time and he's putting in the work. And so, as much as I dislike him for being scum, he's a brilliant player, and he's actually putting in the work to be a decent manager. So,
just keep him away from the old folks' homes in Washington.
Well, do whatever you got to do. You know, grannies over here look a lot different than grannies over there. I'm just saying, we got some hot grannies, some gilfs.
Probably far too glamorous for him.
Knick-knack, yes, we did. We will get to those momentarily. We're gonna. So everybody's saying Liverpool is the.
Naji.
I remember what I said.
Liverpool is the shock of all this for the most part.
Yeah.
To me, Chelsea being 12th is still flattering. I have no clue how on earth they're still 12th place. They must have won
Look,
every match in the beginning of the season besides Leeds.
Well, you can dissect their season as much as you want, but they basically lost 3-0 to Leeds and let at Brendan Aronson score. That's all that tells you about their season.
Yeah.
So yeah, Wolves could jump over them. Okay. All right. Should we look at the relegation picks?
Do it.
Let's see how we did. Oh, lots of Bournemouth on there, guys. Lots of Bournemouth. I had Southampton. Oh, not as last place though. Who had Jersey Chris had Southampton last. Okay.
It'll be right eventually.
But he had Fulham and Bournemouth, which isn't going to happen. Guys, most of these are wrong.
Nobody. Only one person got right. Oh well, it all depends if Everton falls.
It looks like most of us went Southampton, Everton, Bournemouth, or a lot of us.
Yeah,
Brentford
but
is in there.
But this is just based off what's happened in previous seasons, isn't it? At the end of the day, we didn't have much faith that Fulham were going to do well this season when they did so shockingly the season when they came up with Leeds and they went straight back down. So yeah, but they learned the lesson, didn't they? And is it the first time it's happened in the Premier League that all promoted teams have stayed up?
I don't know if it's the first time, but it's rare. It's rare.
Very rare.
Yeah. And Momaster says, I don't do bottom 3 predictions. I don't watch these teams. I only do top 4. So you only listen to pop music is what you're saying. You only listen to what you're told to listen to. And
So
you only watch
basically
the movies that have Mark
watches
Wahlberg.
blue shirts pass the ball around his team for 180 minutes. Because that's what happened. Men against boys, my master. Men against boys.
Manager of the season goes to Gary O'Neill at Bournemouth.
I think it's Gary O'Neill. I don't know why I'm hearing all this Eddie Howe shit.
Nah, Gary O'Neill. He's done a terrific job. Terrific job. He's grown in his position as well. Bearing in mind that Scott Parker basically gave up on the squad after a couple of games.
Yep.
Got the Gooner, and then he's come in. Didn't start off too well, but what a turnaround! Hats off to him.
Yeah.
They lost 9-0.
Yeah, they lost 9-0.
And lost 9-0, and they've still managed to seed less goals than us.
Why do you have to do this, Tom?
I know he just likes to he likes pain.
Wallow in the
I've just
misery.
pointed out they've done well. I've just pointed out
Yeah,
that
they
they've
have.
done well. That's it. Because he has. Because they brought him in at the expense of Bielsa. Like, basically, they were going for Bielsa, and then they went, no, actually, we'll trust this guy. And we all laughed at him.
Well, Bielsa, his demands were probably far too great for that club.
Of course he was. And we're all glad that he never went there. But at the same time, it was still laughable that they were interviewing him and then took him and,
Well, we were all like, well, there's Bournemouth. That's one place filled for relegation.
I can't believe Luke Ayling was walking back on one of their goals. Sorry, it's just criminal. It's criminal.
I think that was the last Leeds match I'd gone to, actually. Bournemouth at home. 4-3.
Yeah.
Ecstatic that Somerville scored that last goal, but Jesus Christ, that was tight. It should never have got to 3-3 in the first place.
Absolutely.
We were miles ahead.
Yeah.
Quick question for everyone. What do you obviously there's no way of knowing. Do you think we'd have been in a better position had we lost to Liverpool and lost at home to Bournemouth and then had 6 weeks to make changes?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
really don't know.
If we got in the right manager though.
But would that have changed your injuries? Because I think the injuries is what hurt as well, though, right? I mean, you lose a Tyler Adams, you lose your midfield. So, and I believe a midfield is really important in this game, and especially in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I believe that's a problem, a big problem, if you can't control that. And you know, what is it? What's going on?
Class, Ian.
Why doesn't Axel come on to do the bet?
Actual nailed everything down to the tweet. We invite him every week.
He doesn't show up until after every time, and he's correct. You know,
Tom, after this show, pick up your P45, son. You're out of a job.
Oh, yeah.
Axel's taking over your position.
Look, Axel had a lucky year. That's all I'm going to say.
I just think that Grazia shouldn't have been hired. Full stop. I think that's where our downfall was. I don't know what happened, but it was just that capitulation against Crystal Palace. Something happened in that dressing room that
But he picked up a lot of points to begin with. He picked up a lot of points.
No, he picked up the same amount as bloody Jesse did. It means nothing. It means
in a
nothing.
short space of time, he picked up the same amount of points. It's the players. I'll tell you what. One of the things that Big Sam said: it's not the system that has failed; it's the players who haven't adapted to the system. He's bang on. The players need to take a lot of responsibility for the capitulation. And yes, you're right, Gary. Tyler Adams, I think that's been a massive and pivotal part of our season, losing him.
Yeah.
But the players, the rest of the players needed to, stand up to the plate, as you would say in America.
Though, if we had the right manager in, we would have recovered from that capitulation, and we wouldn't have shipped 23 bloody goals in 1 month.
Maybe.
I'm impressed that we managed to smash the record set by
How
ourselves.
did we even manage to beat our own record?
It's impressive. It's impressive.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry.
I know.
I love good defending.
It's one of these things, isn't it? You don't laugh, you'll cry.
I've noticed this on a lot of social media and different YouTube. Sorry, Lolo, but I do watch some other YouTube shows. And
what?
We don't promote any other YouTube channels on this show. We're having a hard enough time, Dave.
I didn't name any of them. I just said other. Of course, they're not quite so good. But what I've noticed is that Leeds fans are basically resigned to being relegated. They think we deserve it, and they tend to laugh a little bit about it now because it's like, yeah, we're just crap. The club's crap. It's been decimated from top to bottom. So,
it'd be nice to be able to have my Sunday dinner at a reasonable time because we might not be every fucking week. Fucking hate that 2 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday, and then because we're presented in a way where it's like, oh, we're showing you out of obligation, but quick, the Arsenal team bus has turned up. Let's take up 75% of the screen during the match. Fucking pricks. I'm talking about Sky, but also Arsenal because why not? Just see look on Gary's face.
But again, you watch who's going to be the team who's most televised next season in the Championship. It'll be Leeds.
Yeah, because Leeds is everyone's final, isn't it? Like
big draw,
it's always away games. No, but it's always away games because they don't want to give us the money for it.
Yeah. And we always seem to do crap on TV as well. So obviously they'll put us on TV as much as possible.
Not next season, Rhiannon. We're going up. We're going up next season.
We need a hard reset in the summer.
The
Or we need.
Don't have to start till 10:35 anymore to watch the highlights. I think the ITV screen the championship at 9 o'clock. Great. Trying to find every class.
All these positives for Mr. Tom.
Yeah, I bet you're surprised, Gary.
It'll be an interesting championship, though, if you think about it. If you think about it, it'll be an interesting championship. You've got Southampton, you'll have us, and you'll have either Leicester or Everton in the championship. And then it's just mad the fact that you've got, what is it, Bournemouth, Sheffield United, and potentially either Coventry or Luton in the Premier League. It's mad.
Yeah. Well, you would have to say whatever 3 clubs get relegated would have a better shot than normal for all 3 of them to pop back up. Because, like we've said, not that I can ever remember of all 3 relegated teams surviving. This, like we said, we think this is the first time it's ever. You know what? It's happy hour. This is the first time it's ever happened in the history of anything. I forgot that we don't care about facts. It's the first time ever that all 3 teams who were recently promoted have survived. Am I right, Tom? He says yes. Perfect. So we now have three established Premier League teams going down, with Southampton, who's been in the Premier League for a long time, Everton, who's never gone down, if I'm not mistaken. They're the last team besides Arsenal to have never been relegated, and that's a fact. And Leicester City going down as well. So these are 3 established teams. Leicester City were a Premier League winning team.
Yeah.
They all should come back.
FA Cup as well. Don't forget that.
Yeah. The fuck up.
You think the relegated teams will sell?
Yeah.
Their players?
You're gonna laugh at this. The last time all 3 promoted teams had to stay up, 2018.
It was like 3 years ago. 5 years ago. Shut up, Tom.
Newcastle, Brighton, and Huddersfield.
Shut up, Tom. It's never happened.
Don't let the truth get in the way of the truth.
Tom, I would have accepted that if you would have said ding, 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 but you didn't. So you made all the points. We need like a running point tally on here so I can deduct points.
2002.
You didn't ding, ding, ding again.
I know.
Tom.
This is like
I'm not
back-to-back
listening.
answers that got nullified by the rules.
I'm not listening to any of these.
John,
Only time all 3 teams.
God damn it! Somebody get rid of him. Thank you.
John,
Ruining
pull
the show
Tom's
with
audio for like the last 5 minutes, please.
Oh, sorry.
This is racism. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know I was on.
Say, see, Bowmaster, racism exists over here too. So there you
go. But let's not forget, as Leeds United fans have told us, please hit that like button. That's all they've told us. No, but as Leeds United fans have told us, it is not easy to get out of the championship. It's not like, oh, we're Premier League team, here we go, let's just win our games and go. As Rhiannon just stated, every one of these championship teams who have not been able to get out of it will play Leeds United, Everton, Leicester, Southampton, whoever it ends up all being. They will play them like it is their cup final. They know there's more eyes on them. They know there's better players out on the pitch. They want to show who they are. So they're going to come at you better. It's something that Arsenal saw in the second half of the season, where we were just running over teams. And then the second half of the season, they were playing us with more respect and more, we're coming at you. Like it's something about that difference in status where a lower team can play up to a bigger team because a bigger team plays down to the lower team. You know what I mean? Oh shit, no VAR.
Oh, this is good.
But also,
so Sam is gone. So who comes in, or is he staying?
As we stand at the moment, Gary, this is Leeds United.
Yep.
We don't know if we're in the Premier or the Championship. We don't know who our owner is going to be. We don't know who our director of football is going to be. We have no idea who the fucking players are going to be. And as for a manager, who gives a flying fuck?
But
that is Leeds at the moment.
Yeah, but they make so if we do get relegated, when we do get relegated, because likelihood is that we are, we have to do some proper business in the transfer window. We have to go out and get the best striker. We can't rely on the crock of Bamford. As much as he's helped us out in the past, he is falling to bits. He's injury prone right now. He's been injured at least three times this season already. So we need to go out and get the best striker. We need to bolster our midfield. And
we need 4 defenders that can defend. 4 defenders that can defend.
Wow.
Exactly, and get defenders that can defend. I'd keep Robles because he has made such an impression these last couple of games. He's actually saved our skin many a times, and it could have been a whole lot worse than.
Well, I mean, Rhiannon, if we look at your actual stats of the goals that you've scored, Leicester has 2 more than you, but the next club to have more goals than you is Fulham, and they're sitting in 10th.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you need to go out and I think Tom is right. You shipped in 74 fucking goals.
Well, Rodrigo's going to go because
Rodrigo's gone. He'll be gone.
He's obviously going to go.
Rodrigo's gone.
Melié's
gone.
So is Somerville going to stay?
Rock is probably
Is it
gone.
Somerville or Somerville or whatever.
Don't know.
I don't know.
Well, you know what I was just going to say when Rhiannon, when you were talking.
There's the guy. There's the centre half we need.
There you go.
Is that Ben Ireland?
David, when you were talking, I was just sitting there going to myself, I call my show The Road Trip, and it's basically that. We don't know where we're going. We don't have that much cash. But we know we're going to be drinking. So that's basically the one thing you will know. You'll probably be drinking. You just don't know what anything is right now. So
and if the rumours at the moment are true, if you read between the lines, connect the dots about what's happening with Radrazani at the moment, it literally scares me because there's obviously everyone's saying, oh yeah, we should get the 49ers to take over, but there's articles saying 49ers are basically helping Radrazani out over in Italy, and they want and it's like having this Udinese Watford thing, and I'm like, no, we don't want that.
This is the problem, Rhiannon. This is what I was alluding to earlier with Radrazani, where it was all good when Radrazani was 100% Leeds United, but as soon as things got hard, it's all Rads. It's all him. And so it's not side before self for him. It's well, I did all right. Let me move on to my next thing now. And now that I've got friends in the US, i.e. the 49ers, they're cooling off on Leeds United, but maybe I can get them interested in Udinese or one of these other clubs that I'm also interested. And you're starting to see maybe this fucking dude does not have that badge tattooed on his heart.
Of course he doesn't. Of course he doesn't. He's a businessman.
Yep.
He's done. Look, I can't slate him too much because he's bought back Ellen Road. Yeah. Ellen Road is ours.
No, it's his. Anyway,
Well,
it's his.
Yeah, it's in
Not
one of
ours,
his
it's
companies,
his.
isn't it?
in one of his
Yeah.
companies, but I'm just saying he's bought back Ellen Road for Leeds United. You know, you know what I'm getting at, Tom. But at the same time, what he's done recently is just not. It's just not good. I mean, the whole fallout with outta as well. I was just. You just know that obviously there was a lot going on behind the scenes before the capitulation, you know, with Crystal Palace, but it's just been toxic, and it's been going rotten from the inside out, and now it's showing on the pitch, and now we're suffering, and that's what I don't like about football, because obviously I do appreciate football is a business, but to the fans it's not.
Yeah.
And the fans of the club will always suffer. So
let me ask you, Rhiannon, just you haven't been here in so long, and all this keeps making me think of is Rob McElhenney and Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, what they did at Wrexham. Have you followed any of that they've done at Wrexham? Do you know anything about
kind
that?
of. Well,
So
I know
they
that the owners of Wrexham, but I didn't watch their TV documentary or anything like that.
It's good.
The documentary, the show is very good, but it also just shows you two guys who know fuck all about football, but they have a passion for it. They seem to be doing it the right way. They had an open forum with all the Wrexham fans. Anyone could call in and view this, and it was like, talk to us, ask us. And they had to vote to allow them to buy the club, because Wrexham is owned by the people or something like that.
That's right.
But what they're doing, the way that they're doing it, is in such a loving way, and also understanding that they don't know everything. And so they're putting the right people in the right places, and their passion is coming through on the other ends of it, of like, well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make a fucking documentary. And now one of the most sold kits in the US is fucking Wrexham. And that was before they got promoted back into, like, not even promoted to the Premier League, back into the fucking FA. So
yeah, but I'll be interested to see what goes on when they don't win every week.
Well, they didn't the first season. They didn't the first season.
And they sacked the manager and then pumped more money in at the 5th tier.
Yeah.
And then got a million points.
And when they brought in Ben Foster near the end of the season just to make sure they made it, I have to say, it's as cynical as fuck. It really is. It really is. There's no competition there. There's no competition. That is like, if you can imagine all the Arab Emirate countries getting together and coming in and pumping all their money into just one side in the Premier, and all the rest of the sides being sponsored by the baker, butcher baker and the candlestick maker. It's really cynical. It's really cynical. There's nothing romantic about it.
But I mean, they're not allowed to pump in endless amounts of money into it.
Oh, really? Really? Have you seen their sponsorships?
That's not pumping money into it. That's finding sponsorship.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, it's not.
When Man City do it, we call
it's manufacturing a very unlevel playing field because he can.
Players are dropping 2 divisions down so they can meet Deadpool.
Yeah. And listen, I was at a non-league club and I know how that works. And at all levels, it comes down to money. And when you suddenly have somebody comes in and pumps a lot of money and has players come down from 1 or 2 levels above, and they're getting paid huge amounts of money for that level.
I think Lolo's allergic to the truth.
Suddenly it becomes like, this isn't a competition. It is literally
You
buying
just
the
you
league.
just told him that Santa Claus isn't real.
I'm sorry,
I'm sorry, that's what you just did it, John. You just like there's no fat guy coming down the chimney.
nor is the Easter Bunny either.
What?
He wanted us to tickle
So-
Macca and he's under the chin or something.
No, David, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm hearing that. I get it. I'm processing it. I think what I'm trying to get at is a little bit less of businessman, even though they're coming in with businessman type cash, especially for that level. They're
Ryan
not
Reynolds
millionaire.
Ryan Reynolds is a businessman.
Absolutely.
He is a businessman.
Yeah.
You know that.
I mean, that's where when you see all of a sudden they have like Aviator Gin on their thing, I'm like, how is that legal? Because that's his company. They can't be pumping money into that and then getting a write-off. And yeah, that all seems a bit sketchy as shit. But I feel like the way that they're approaching the club and the history in that town of that club and taking into account the people surrounding the club is very heartwarming to see.
I think what they're doing,
Yeah.
that's what they need to do a lot more of. Is everybody talks about football being part of the community, and when you sell to the highest bidder, the community is lost, right? Like you said, there's a big gap between the owners and the people that are sitting on the other side of the rope, basically watching the same game as them, but they're not in the the expensive seats, and that's what it makes, I think, football around the world outside of America different, is because it is. So most of the time, it's all built on the community. Everybody's been watching their teams since they were babies, right?
I mean, good luck to the Wrexham fans. I wouldn't begrudge them it. You know what I mean? But it's not a level playing field whatsoever.
No. And that's the thing. They're trying.
It is buying it. You're literally buying it.
So acknowledging that, yeah, they're injecting the money to get them back into the league, back out of a no man's land.
Yeah, and they'll climb up. They'll climb up a couple of divisions
and
more.
Then it's going to level off a little bit where they're not going to be able to just buy the next league and buy the next and they, like somebody just mentioned, they only won by 4 points or something like that. It wasn't like they didn't blow anybody away.
That's what I mean about the cynical bit of bringing in a Premiership goalkeeper who's the only reason he's not got a job is because he preferred to do his punditry and not move away. And suddenly Wrexham come calling, although I don't think he's taken a wage for it, but off he goes.
But he saved a penalty to get them 3 points.
Oh yeah, of course. He's a Premier goalkeeper. He's got to do some payback, hasn't he?
Yeah.
We'd be furious if we were not County fans. We'd be fucking furious.
Yeah. But as I say, good luck to them. Good luck to the fans.
But what I'm saying is,
to me, it's not the romantic story that it's made out to be. It's a very cynical
makes it
story.
even worse, though, that he never got paid. Because Notts County couldn't turn around to Ben Foster and gone, do you fancy playing for us for free?
Absolutely.
No, I remember talking about it right away when they first bought Wrexham. And I was saying they're going to get players, even if they're not going to be paying them more or anything, paying them exorbitant wages. They're going to be, if you were trying to decide between a club in League 2 versus non-league Wrexham, well, non-league Wrexham has a Hulu documentary crew following them around, and my social media will go nuts. And I, myself, my status will go up even though I'm in a lower league. Isn't that what, like, not that Mullen did that, Mullen actually had to be convinced to go, but
That's only good if you're winning.
yeah,
Sunderland
but
Till
you
I
know
Die
you're going
is a
to be,
documentary that
you're going to
exists.
get that. You hope you can show
Sunderland
off your
got
skills.
relegated from the Premier Division, and Netflix filmed a documentary for Sunderland. And the whole point of it was we were going to see a team in the Championship dominate the Championship, and we'd see the behind the scenes. What we actually saw was Sunderland get relegated and have 3 managers that season, and all the players are laughing stocks.
Yeah.
As for the manager as well, he's not a very likable person.
Okay. Well, guys, it's the
That's blown
it's
Wrexham out the water.
you discussing backstage, but let's appease Mo Master for 1 second, and we'll finish off this show. Did I lose everybody?
I hope into it.
Did I lose everybody? So let's finish off the show by saying Champions League final predictions. That's what Mo Master just asked. So he sits through 2 hours of watching us talk about Premier League when he doesn't watch any Premier League. So Champions League final, guys, it's Manchester City versus one of the Milan teams. Inter? Was it Inter?
Yep.
What do you guys think?
2-0 Man City. They won't even get out of second gear.
I hope City win it.
City win, but I don't know score. Probably 2-1.
I hope City win it just to shut up the red side. That's it, basically.
Yeah.
One thing
No,
I will say
I
about Man City-
I can't see them slowing down for anyone. Well, is that like the last game of the season for them? Is that right? It's the last game. So
Yeah, it will be.
I think it's the last game of the season for them. So I can't see them slowing down. They're not even going at top speed lately. You know what I mean? They don't have to. So they're just going to turn it on when they need to, and it'll, they keep things stay close, and every, after about 5 minutes, boom, it's gone. You're like, well, you look back and you're like, well, the game's gone now, right? So Mo Master wants Inter to win, and do we want Mo Master to be happy?
We don't care.
I'll tell you what's going to happen, Gary, and this is going to infuriate so much of the football world, is the FA Cup final is going to come down to penalties, and Manchester United is going to win that somehow. And they're going to claim that their 4th place, 3rd place finish with 2 cups, the double, they will call it, the soft double, we'll call it.
Well, they're going to go into that with maybe some injuries, right? I mean, they had some players go down in the last game, so.
Anthony lost his leg or something like that. But then I see, I don't think it's going to be quite as easy as everybody thinks it is for City to beat Inter Milan. Inter Milan, it's tricky. It's a different type of side that they haven't played against. And
But
Real
if there's
Madrid,
a team that can, you've watched them, right? City they don't need hundreds of chances. I mean, every time they need to, Kevin De Bruyne stands up to, essentially, I mean, this is a baseball phrase, but stands up to the plate and hits it home. You know what I mean? He's always there answering the call a lot of times, and that's all they need is one time, and then that's usually it for the game. And that's something they got in their back pocket. If they just play their style, it might not even be any fun for Inter. I understand, it's
could easily be. Yeah,
but I just kind of feel like Kevin De Bruyne is that wild card that is always there. He's always there, and he turns it on, and he'll make one pass, and that's it. The game's over. He'll take a free kick.
It's one
he'll
game.
Make that one shot.
It's one game.
Yeah, but
and Pep
but he doesn't need that many tries. He just needs that one chance. It's always going to get. He's always going to get that one chance, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's got the one thing he never had. All the other times he'd do his weird experiments.
Yeah, now he's got this big robot in the middle, right? And he can get the ball to him, and who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, but Haaland doesn't score every time.
He doesn't have to now. I think he just draws people either by their eyes or their body. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like they have an answer for you. You stop Harlan, you open it up for everybody else. You don't, you try to, cut down on everybody else. They make a quick pass and Harlan's in, and you're like, crap. I think that's what you need, though, right? You want to be chasing that, that cat chasing that red light around the room, right? You never catch it, but it's always ahead of you. So I kind of feel like that's what they have right now. And then if it's not with their starters, they bring on somebody from the bench, and you're like, damn, No, but Bernardo Silva goes out there and gets a hat trick. I mean, they got a lot of answers for things. So.
Yeah.
What was you going to say, Tom?
I still find it laughable that they try and convince everyone that they spent 60 million on Haaland.
We don't listen to that nonsense.
It's a lie. It's flagrantly a lie. I know everyone. I know. In football, no one factors in wages into a transfer, but everyone and that. My man's been dead 20 years, and she knows that he got 300 million bonus for signing.
He's going to sell a lot
Outrageous.
of shirts.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, that's it. That's it for happy hour. Please, if you want to join us backstage, we'll be backstage for a little bit. There's the link right there in the comments section. Feel free to click on that. We'll be backstage for a little bit, hanging out. But otherwise, we will see you guys Sunday. Sunday, Championship Sunday. We will probably do at least a quick live video after it's all said and done to see if Leeds survive, if they don't, and all of that. So thank you so much for joining us, Rhiannon. We love having you on the show. As always, glad that you could be back. Gary, Tom, David, everybody, and even Director John backstage. Thank you guys so much.
Guys.
What do you mean it even?
And even Director John for
That
all of his
hurts.
comments. Snarky Arsenal comments. All right, guys, we'll see you backstage. I hope all your teams lose, except for all of you guys, actually. I hope, yeah. Gary, I'm wondering, maybe Wolves should win, so Chelsea finish below Wolves. It would just be, we don't need this game. We don't need this game.
I can't. Losing 3 in a row to end the season just doesn't sound right to me. That's all.
That's good. It's a good way to end. All right, good night, everybody. Peace.
Cheers.